Hi folks, and welcome to the first episode of the tabletop wargaming part of this channel. I'm James, and today I'm working on some Adeptus Titanicus stuff, mainly a couple of Reaver Titans. This is part of a bigger project that I want to talk about in another video, but I thought a little video of me gluing tiny robots together would be a good place to start. So what's the story? Why are we here? Is there other life in the universe? These are not the kind of questions we'll be asking. We'll be asking things like, how can we get models painted reasonably quickly while still having them look good? What game systems are out there? What are we currently working on? Are there any good hobby tips and tricks? And many other hobby related questions. Now these Reavers have been languishing in a box for a few years. One of them is half built and the other is still boxed. So I thought it was time to break them out and get them built and painted so I can work towards having a game with them. The intention is to put one into a traitor maniple and one into a loyalist maniple, so we're using the neat faceplate for the loyalist and the angry faceplate for the traitor. I also wanted to magnetise all of the weapons, so there's plenty of choice when it comes to games. I think I browsed the internet for magnet sizes a very long time ago, and there are already some good YouTube videos and blog posts out there on how to do it, so I'll only cover it briefly here. I used 2mm by 1mm magnets for the weapon arms, along with some green stuff to pack out the shoulder hole. I'll change my method on the second one and make sure I explain it a bit more. The carapace weapons just need a 5mm by 1mm magnet, which gives a ridiculously strong hold. Thankfully, Games Workshop designed the Titanicus model range to accommodate magnets, so the hole already exists on both the weapon and the carapace, which makes it way easier. I'm just using my hobby knife to score a cross into the top of the ball connection. That way the pin vise, the little hand drill, won't slip around and it makes it easier to drill a hole for the magnet. I also picked up a couple of the extra weapon sprues, so I've got doubles of everything, which means even more magnets, but also gives a good choice of weapon selections. So you might be looking at this video and thinking, James, you've been a hobbyist for over 20 years. Where's your dedicated hobby space? Where's your paint racks? Where's your brush racks? Where's a cabinet full of models? My answer would be, what are you doing looking in my window? But the real answer is, of course, I've never really had the space, or if I did, I didn't use it very well. So I do what a lot of hobbyists do, and I use the dining table. Almost all of my hobby supplies fit in the old Citadel project box. If I go to my local store or a friend's house to do some hobby, I'll take a small cheap toolbox filled with the paints and brushes and models that I'm currently working on. And that's what works for me at this moment in time. If you've got a space and the option for a dedicated hobby area, then go for it. My goal is to one day have a shed or room that is a hobby room, where I can both hobby and play games. That way I can leave a game up for over a weekend, and it won't take up valuable eating space. I'm normally quite messy when it comes to workspaces, but I've recently found that having this limited space has helped me focus on the hobby and get more things painted. Anyway, back to the Reavers. These models are amazingly detailed, and also a right pain to put together because they're so fiddly. They do excellent when they're all built and painted. I'm leaving the armour panels on the sprue for the most part, as it's easier to paint the metallic chassis without the panels getting in the way. Panels will get painted separately and glued on once completed. I'm really looking forward to painting these, as having both a traitor and loyalist scheme will give me a bit of variety. I'll cover the Legios and Knight household schemes when I get around to painting them, which I'll cover in another video. Although I've only played one game of Adeptus Titanicus, it's really recaptured my attention through the Horus Heresy books and several podcasts. So part of the plan, as I've called it, is to have an Axiom maniple for each side that will consist of a Warlord, a Reaver, 2 Warhounds, and a Knight Lance, which is 3 Knights. That feels like a pretty good starting point, as it's a small number of models which can be worked on over a relatively short space of time. I'll also be doing videos looking at the background of the Legios and the Knight households I've chosen for these models, as well as videos on the colour schemes and painting process. And with that, I think we've come to the end of the episode. Thanks everyone for watching, and join me next time for more hobby.